NBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert comes out and denies what we all see. All of us see it. The players see it. The coaches see it. The fans see it. The damn parking lot attendants that's standing outside of the venues that's not even in the arenas can see it. That there's a major referee issue with the WNBA.
Now, we know WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert pretty much is not a fan favorite. She's been quiet in most parts. She's looked upon as being a fraud. And quite frankly, people was asking for her to step down, bro.
Accordingly, effective immediately.
One sentence ended a career. Brittney Griner is banned from the WNBA. Effective right now. Those were Adam Silver's exact words. No warning. No slow buildup. Just gone. And here's the part that should scare you. Nobody in that room saw it coming, but everybody should have, because months earlier, cameras caught Griner chasing down Caitlin Clark, throwing elbows, talking trash, trying everything possible to break her down. Everyone watched it happen. The tension was thick enough to touch, but Clark, she didn't flinch. She took the hits, kept scoring, kept her cool, and let her game speak. Griner eventually fouled out, and Clark said just one line to her face. "You don't scare me." That's the moment things started to shift, because maybe Griner was never the real problem. Maybe there was someone bigger pulling strings the whole time. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert. Her name keeps surfacing behind every piece of this mess. The silence, the chaos, the sudden ban. And the deeper you dig, the less this looks like discipline. It looks like damage control. Let's break it down properly. When Adam Silver called an emergency press conference, the entire sports world stopped. Everyone expected a suspension, maybe a fine. Instead, Griner was thrown out of the league completely. This wasn't just punishment. It was a message. Silver made it clear corruption would not be tolerated. But the real question wasn't what she did. It was why now? For nearly a decade, Griner had been the face of the WNBA Olympic gold medalist, one of the only players dunking regularly in years, and she was erased overnight. No farewell tour, nothing. Silver's words were blunt. Anything that threatens the integrity of this game has no place in it. So, what exactly did she do? A quiet internal investigation had been building for a while, driven by complaints from players, coaches, and reporters. And what it uncovered was ugly. Accusations of match manipulation, misuse of power, and behind-the-scenes influence over how games were officiated. But even as Silver dropped this bombshell, fans couldn't shake one nagging feeling. Where was Kathy Engelbert while all this was happening? Behind Griner's polished image, the sponsorships, the highlight reels, the public smile, a darker pattern was forming. The investigation found that game outcomes weren't just being influenced. They were being engineered. Sources linked her to private meetings with referees, quiet conversations, and subtle pressure tactics. Insiders claim her team kept getting the right calls at exactly the right time during close playoff races. A coincidence? Silver's findings said no. According to one senior source, Griner's circle had access to things they shouldn't have. Scouting reports, referee assignments, inside information. Some even suggested she had pullover league staff, possibly through old management ties. And none of this was new. People had been whispering about it for years. So, why did it take this long? Simple. She was too valuable to touch. Her name filled arenas. She brought in sponsors. During slow seasons, she was the league's safety net. And now that the WNBA was finally gaining real momentum, nobody wanted to be the one who blew it up. This ban wasn't only about what Griner did. It was about everything the league chose to ignore for years. And that brings us straight to Kathy Engelbert. Because if Griner had that kind of power, someone had to have handed it to her. Up until this scandal, Griner's story read like a fairy tale. She was once called the savior of the league. At her peak, she was untouchable. Olympic gold with Team USA thunderous blocks viral dunks. She wasn't just good. She was different. A rare talent in a league desperate for a spotlight moment. Endorsements poured in. She ran youth camps, represented the league overseas, became one of Nike's global faces. Before she became the WNBA's biggest headache, she was its biggest asset. but cracks were already forming underneath. Stories of clashing with teammates, arguing with referees, ignoring team rules. She was becoming a problem both on and off the court, and the league looked the other way. Why? Because up to that point, she was still profitable. The final stretch wasn't pretty. Whispers turned into leaks. Reporters noticed strange patterns in how her games were officiated. The investigation followed. And once the evidence surfaced, recordings, messages, first-hand accounts, there was no saving the story anymore. The league had no choice but to cut her loose. But here's the real issue. Stars don't rise on their own. Systems build them and protect them. And in this case, that system had a name, Kathy Angelbert. The details of the investigation read like a sports thriller. Whistleblowers leaked messages, anonymous tips. Investigators found direct links between Griner and suspicious officiating, especially in high-pressure games. Text threads reportedly showed her naming specific referees, complaining about assignments, and even discussing matchups before they happened. But the most damning piece was an audio clip from a tense moment right after a game. Allegedly, Griner telling an official to control the whistle to lock in a playoff seed. That's not trash talk, that's tampering with the actual competition. Silver's investigation revealed what looked like a favoritism network. Griner reportedly had direct influence over several referees and league executives. The fallout was immediate. Officials were suspended. Executives quietly lost their jobs. Her name became radioactive overnight. But that raised a bigger question. How long had this been happening? Who actually knew? Turns out more people knew than anyone expected. And one of them sat at the very top of the league. Engelbert wasn't just briefed once. She was warned repeatedly. And each time she chose silence. Everything changed the moment Silver mentioned the recordings. Before that, the accusations against Griner could have been brushed off as rumors, jealousy, or bad luck. But actual audio, that's not speculation, that's proof. According to insiders, there are at least 2 key recordings, one reportedly from a locker room conversation. The other, a hallway exchange between Griner and a referee right after a game. On these tapes, she can allegedly be heard questioning why calls weren't going her way, pushing for momentum shifts, and even suggesting certain players be watched closely. Even longtime league staff were reportedly stunned when they heard it. Silver personally reviewed the recordings, and his response was immediate. There was no room left for denial. This wasn't rule-bending. This was reshaping outcomes. Once that came out, there was no more debate, no PR spin, no appeal, just the ban. But this raises a much bigger issue. Who allowed this level of access in the first place? Players aren't supposed to have private conversations with referees. This wasn't a one-time slip. It was a pattern. And patterns don't survive quietly unless someone higher up is shielding them. Every clue kept pointing straight up the chain to Kathy Angelbert. Protecting the integrity of the sport was supposed to be Angelbert's #1 job. Not the players, not the sponsors, the game itself. So when did she lose sight of that? Sources say Angelbert had been aware of complaints about Griner for more than 2 years. Players raised concerns directly with league offices. Staff members wanting to stay anonymous flagged suspicious backroom activity and strange officiating decisions. Even internal compliance systems reportedly flagged official reports, and still nothing happened. Reports suggest Angelbert either buried these concerns or quietly rerouted them through internal channels, allegedly protecting Griner to preserve the league's public image. Why take that risk? Money. Griner was a marketable name, someone the WNBA could put front and center. Engelbert had staked her leadership on growing the league's profile, and Griner was part of that plan. Even if it meant looking away from accountability, that gamble backfired completely. Now that the investigation is closed and the tapes are public, Angelbert can't hide behind talking points anymore. Her silence is starting to look a lot like cooperation. Fans, players, and journalists are now asking if she should be the next one shown the door. Because in a scandal this size, the person who let it happen carries just as much blame as the one who did it. Angelbert is under serious pressure right now. What started as player complaints has turned into a full-blown league crisis. Silver managed to remove Griner, but fans want more. And their attention is now locked on the commissioner. Critics say Angelbert wasn't just careless. They say she engineered the silence. Multiple sources claim she had early access to the recordings and reports detailing Guerrier's backroom influence and referee bias. Some say she blocked follow-up investigations. Others claim she told legal teams to quietly drop it unless media pressure forced their hand. It's telling that Silver personally took over the disciplinary process, something that usually falls under Angelbert's authority. That's not normal. That signals the league no longer trusts her to clean up her own mess. Sponsors are reportedly uneasy. Some deals are on pause. And worst of all, players are speaking out publicly with growing calls online demanding Angelbert step down. Former players are going on record demanding transparency. And behind closed doors, rising stars like Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham are reportedly furious. This isn't just a scandal anymore. It's a reckoning. Because if Angelberg didn't just fail to stop corruption but actually enabled it, then keeping her in charge could put the entire league at risk. You can't expose a superstar without other superstars willing to speak. That's exactly why Clark and Cunningham mattered so much here. These aren't role players. They're the future faces of the league. Clark is the most watched rookie in WNBA history. Cunningham is one of the toughest two-way players around. When they talked, people listened, and what they revealed changed everything. Both players reportedly sat down privately with league investigators, and they didn't hold back. They described games where officiating suddenly shifted mid-match momentum swings that made no basketball sense. Clark specifically pointed to moments where her teammates were called for minor contact, while opposing defenders got away with far more. Cunningham said playing against Courier's team often felt like fighting the referees too, like the games were scripted before tip-off. The real gut punch, though, was the audio play during their testimony. Clark reportedly said hearing Guerrier's voice pressuring officials confirmed what she'd suspected the entire time. This had been happening constantly. That moment erased any benefit of the doubt. Without Clark and Cunningham stepping forward, Silver may not have had enough support to act at all. Their honesty turned private suspicion into a public crisis. Both are now being credited as the ones who protected the soul of the league. But speaking up came at a cost, especially for Clark, who wasn't exactly protected by the very league she was helping save. Now, the final twist. Something didn't sit right the moment Caitlin Clark stepped onto a WNBA court. She was supposed to be the golden ticket, the rookie who'd fill arenas and boost ratings, and she delivered. Sold-out jerseys, packed venues, viral highlights every single night. But the league itself, silent, no real protection, no pushback on the physical treatment she received. Game after game, she absorbed elbows, shvees, hard fouls with barely a whistle in sight. It started looking less like tough basketball and more like a message. Don't get too big, don't get too loud. And who benefits from sending that kind of message? Leadership, specifically Angelbert. Insiders say she was uncomfortable with how fast Clark's popularity exploded, overshadowing veteran stars the league had spent years building its brand around. A 23-year-old rewriting the playbook wasn't part of Anglebert's plan. So, she reportedly did nothing. Let the physical play pile up. Let officials look the other way. Let frustration build. Clark never complained publicly. She just kept playing, but fans noticed. Players noticed, and eventually the pattern became too obvious to explain away. This wasn't bad officiating. This looked intentional. Then it happened. After weeks of rough treatment and no protection, Clark went down with a quad injury and was sidelined indefinitely. Let's talk numbers, because they tell the real story. Clark did in 4 weeks what Engelbert couldn't manage in 4 years. She made the league genuinely relevant. Attendance records broken. Ratings up over 200%. National headlines, viral moments. Worldwide attention. And yet, in an official league recap titled How We Did It, Clark barely got a mention, grouped briefly with other rookies twice with zero real credit. Instead, Angelbert praised the league's mobile app for driving growth. Not a word about the millions who tuned in for the draft. Not a mention of her 30-point debut. She was the reason arenas sold out. And somehow that detail didn't make the cut. That's not an oversight. That's politics. Because Clark wasn't part of anyone's plan. She wasn't handpicked. She forced her way in through pure talent. And Angelbert clearly resented that. But the numbers don't lie. Clark is rewriting the league's future whether leadership likes it or not. Let's be honest about something else, too. The league tried hard to sell a rivalry between Clark and Angel Reese. Good for marketing, good for headlines, but treating them as equals ignored reality. Look at Chicago, supposedly Reese's home turf. Her campaign slogan was, "Come take over your city." But she didn't. Clark did. Fans lined up for hours just for an autograph. No staged hype needed. Reese's appearances, by comparison, drew a fraction of that energy, and ticket prices proved it even further. When Clark was scheduled to play, prices spiked. When she got injured, some tickets dropped to just $7. That's the market speaking clearly. Yet, Angelberg kept billing Reese as an equal co-headliner, refusing to acknowledge who was actually driving the league's growth. Why? Because admitting Clark's impact meant admitting the old model was outdated. And that was something Angelberg wasn't ready to accept. Then came the final blow. When Ice Cube's league offered Clark $5 million to play, people assumed it was a stunt. It wasn't. Cube explained it simply. Clark moves the needle. Fans follow her. Sponsors follow her. Her presence alone creates value. When asked about offering Reese a similar deal, his answer was blunt. It's different for us. Translation: this is business, not personal. Everyone in the industry sees it. Everyone except, apparently, league leadership. The rest of the sports world is adjusting around Clark's rise. While Engelberg clings to older names and manufactured storylines, Clark proved her value without needing anyone's blessing. Hurt, overlooked, and still the biggest name in the sport. Backed now by a $5 million statement. So here we are. Gurr is gone. Clark is still standing. And the WNBA sits at a crossroads. This isn't about one player getting banned or one wild investigation. It's about a pattern, a leak that protected the loudest, most connected voices while ignoring the player actually filling the seats. Kathy Angelbert's name keeps resurfacing in every layer of this story. In the silence, in the officiating, in the way Clark keeps getting overlooked while nobody says a word. You can feel the pressure building. Despite being shoved, targeted, and undermined constantly, Clark keeps showing up and delivering for a league that barely defends her. And once fans start noticing a pattern like that, they don't stop asking questions because at this point, it's bigger than basketball. It's about accountability. It's about leadership. It's about whether this league protects what's failing or supports what's actually growing. Because if nothing changes, Gurr won't be the last name to fall. The whole system could be next. So, tell me, do you think Kathy Angelbert should be next? Drop your take in the comments. Hit subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. And stick around because this story is far from over.